Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate of Oman reaffirms its support for UNRWA's efforts to aid Palestinian refugees. The Israeli occupation forces intensify attacks on Gaza amid deteriorating humanitarian conditions. Iran says the IAEA nuclear deal hinges on sanctions relief. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. On the sidelines of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad al-Busaidi, the Foreign Minister, held talks with His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Abd al-Rahman Al Thani, Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of the State of Qatar. Discussions covered ways to enhance bilateral relations between the Sultanate of Oman and the State of Qatar across various fields, in addition to reviewing regional developments and efforts to achieve a just peace in the Middle East. Also in New York, His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad al-Busaidi, the Foreign Minister, reaffirmed the Sultanate of Oman's continued support for the efforts of UNRWA in addressing the humanitarian challenges faced by Palestinian refugees. This came during his meeting with His Excellency Filippi Lazzarini, Commissioner General of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine Refugees. Military operations continue in the Gaza Strip amid deteriorating humanitarian conditions. The Israeli occupation continued its military operations in Gaza City during the night hours, targeting residential neighborhoods. The Palestinian Ministry of Health in Gaza announced that the death toll had risen to approximately 60 Palestinians, including 10 aid seekers in the past 24 hours. Meanwhile, the displacement of Palestinians from the city toward the center and the south of the Strip continues. UNRWA shelters are rapidly reporting severe overcrowding and shortages of supplies, with hospitals operating beyond capacity, frequent power outages, and a severe shortage of medicine and medical equipment. The humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip is deepening with the continued closure of all crossings and the prevention of food and medical aid, threatening the lives of more than 2 million Palestinians. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said his country may cancel an agreement that allows the International Atomic Energy Agency to inspect its nuclear sites if international sanctions are reimposed. A new round of sanctions is expected to take effect soon as the UN Security Council votes today on a resolution proposed by Russia and China to delay their reinstatement for 6 months. The IAEA is seeking to resume inspections of Iran's nuclear facilities, which were suspended last June. In a related development, Tehran announced the signing of a $25 billion agreement with Russia's state-owned nuclear company Rosatom to build 4 nuclear power plants in Iran. The Russian Defense Ministry said its forces have taken control of the village of Yunakivka in Ukraine's northern Sumy region, though the battlefield report has not been independently verified. Amid escalating drone warfare, Russian authorities reported that Ukraine continued its systematic strikes on the country's oil industry, targeting a refinery in the south, though no damages were confirmed. The ministry added that Russian air defenses shot down 55 Ukrainian drones over several regions overnight. In New York, the United Nations launched the Global Dialogue on Artificial Intelligence Governance to support open innovation and align national governance frameworks. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the dialogue is built on three pillars: policy, science, and capacity. AI at fostering the AI systems that uphold international law and human rights while encouraging economic cooperation and reducing barriers. Participants discussed challenges such as digital divides, ethical risks, security, and privacy, stressing the need for global red lines to prevent dangerous uses of AI. The Secretary General also announced the creation of an independent scientific panel of 40 experts and called for consultations to establish a global fund for AI capacity development. At least 4 people were killed by another tropical storm that struck the Philippines today. Tropical storm Boaloy made landfall in eastern Samar province, packing winds of up to 110 kilometers per hour, causing power outages and flooding. Philippine authorities reported that more than 73,000 people were evacuated to emergency shelters and more than 433,000 people were evacuated from villages severely affected by landslides and flooding. Schools and government offices were suspended in several provinces as well. Still to come on News Bulletin. The Oman Across Ages Museum hosts the Technology and Handicraft Art Exhibition. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Sheikh Mustahil bin Ahmed Al-Mashani Mosque was inaugurated today in the Wilaya of Taqa in the Dhofar Governorate under the auspices of His Highness Sayyid Marwan bin Turki Al Saeed, Governor of Dhofar. The mosque is a prominent religious and architectural landmark designed in a spirit that combines authenticity and modernity, blending Persian, Mamluk, and modern Islamic architecture while preserving authentic Omani influences. The mosque was built on a building area of 9,123 square meters with a capacity of 2,888 worshippers, in addition to a women's prayer hall that accommodates approximately 275 worshippers, and the external courtyards that accommodate 1,712 worshippers. The mosque contains a library containing approximately 8,000 knowledge items within the Afaq al-Ma'rifa system, including books, encyclopedias, scientific journals, university dissertations, and children's books. The Sultanate of Oman's real estate sector has seen a notable upswing this year. Latest figures from the National Center for Statistics and Information show a rise in the total value of property transactions alongside significant growth in mortgage activity, despite a decline in building permits. More details in the following report.
The total value of real estate transactions in the Sultanate of Oman rose by nearly 10% year-on-year, reaching about 2.124 billion Omani riyals by the end of August. According to data from the National Center for Statistics and Information, fees collected from all legal actions jumped by more than 80% to 79 million riyals. The value of sale contracts increased by over 16% to 831 million riyals across nearly 44,000 contracts. Mortgage contracts also climbed more than 6%, recording 1.285 billion riyals through over 14,000 contracts. In contrast, exchange contracts declined by about 18%, totaling 7.6 million riyals from almost 800 contracts. Meanwhile, the number of real estate titles issued rose by more than 2% to exceed 153,700, while those granted to GCC nationals dropped by 13%, amounting to 859 titles. As for building permits, they fell by around 16.5% year-on-year, reaching 36,517 by the end of last year.
In London, Asiyat Shipping launched the Oman Voyage 3165 initiative with the participation of a select group of maritime decision makers from around the world. The initiative, the first of its kind, spans more than 3,000 kilometers, starting from Musandam Governorate to Dhofar Governorate, with zero carbon emissions using kayak. The voyage, which will start on November and last for 70 days, aims to spread awareness with the importance of maritime environment. The Oman Across Ages Museum hosted the Technology and Handicraft Art Exhibition. The event showcased how Omani handicrafts were enriched through modern technologies, highlighting both cultural identity and creative enterprise. More details in the following report.
Inside the Oman Across Ages Museum, heritage and innovation came together under one roof. The Technology and Handicraft Art Exhibition brought artisans, entrepreneurs and designers who gave traditional crafts a modern edge. Each display reflected the beauty of Omani identity while embracing methods that kept it relevant for new generations.
There's great importance to this exhibition. Most importantly, its connections. Through exhibitions, you can get to know new people, new arts, and the use of technology has become very important nowadays, especially to reach a higher audience or a bigger audience. It made it a lot easier to reach people and promote your products and services.
The exhibition included 34 handicraft corners with artisans from across the Sultanate of Oman. Joining them were 3 institutions specializing in modern technology, working side by side with craftsmen to exchange expertise and transfer knowledge. The program also featured workshops that added depth to the experience and created opportunities for learning and collaboration.
Our brand name is Incenso. It's mean the frankincense in the Italian word. And here we have a show like Expo, and it's give us the chance to give the information for all people who visit the museum.
For visitors, the event was a chance to see live demonstrations, take part in interactive displays, and directly engage with artisans as they reimagined their craft to inspire sustainable growth within the industry. From the artistry of the past to the technologies of today, this exhibition shows how Omani craftsmanship is being preserved and redefined for the future. Reporting from Oman Across Ages Museum in the Wilaya of Manah, this is Salih Bukhalfan al-Rahbi, الداخلية Governorate.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate of Oman reaffirms its support for UNRWA's efforts to aid Palestinian refugees. The Israeli occupation forces intensify attacks on Gaza amid deteriorating humanitarian conditions. Iran says the IAEA nuclear deal hinges on sanctions relief. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching and have a good night.